All right, hey everybody, welcome back. Today is Sunday, September 8th, 2024. We got a lot to talk about regarding hurricanes. As I said yesterday in yesterday's video, if you haven't already watched that, I said that this video can be focused more about hurricanes and the now increasingly threat for a possible hurricane that could happen along the coast of Texas and Louisiana, and that has gotten worse in for chances of it becoming something strong, along with two other possible areas of another hurricane forming and possibly coming towards the United States. However, those we will break down when if they become a threat to the United States. However, the main concerning one is in the next 2 days. There's a 90% chance of a hurricane forming, or at least a tropical depression forming down in the Gulf of Mexico, near the Mexico border, just off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, right here. And this is on set to track up towards Texas and Louisiana, and it could become something or could become like a tropical storm or even Category 1 hurricane as it moves closer to the coastline, which could bring some coastal flooding. This being relatively close to the United States, having a ton of showers and storms all across the region that it's in, and as it moves up and it intensifies, that's only going to increase the amount of rainfall in outer bands that like the eastern side of Texas and most of Louisiana will see. So let's go ahead and dig deep here. We're going to go straight to the pressure here. This is what the potential pressure could look like. So it has not formed into a hurricane yet. By Monday, September 9th, we could see a 994 low pressure system just off the coast of the just off the coast of Mexico and the Yucatan Peninsula, and this will rapidly increase here. I know these colors may seem confusing. You got bright colors here, deeper colors here. We're mainly focused on the center where it says 988. That pressure that can determine the strength of a hurricane and how strong it could be. So it does rapidly intensify upon from its onset of from its onset back here. It goes from 994 to 985 back to 991. The reason it's going to kind of go up and down is because it's very close to land. This is the Mexico. This is the Mexico coastline. This is that possible hurricane or at least tropical storm. And as that moves up into the warm waters, it's gonna kind of hug the coastline, which there are extreme warm waters closer to the coast you go, but also the closer you go to the coast, it eventually will hit land and it'll start to weaken out. But this track has it going, I mean, right off the coast. It gets pretty close to the Mexico coastline here. You see, it's a 992. This is at least a tropical storm by. It could at least be a tropical storm by Tuesday, September 10th, and this will kind of wobble a little bit as it kind of gets up here. You'll notice from when played it back here, it kind of was going like this. However, you'll notice it kind of wobbles a little bit that way, and that's what's going to ultimately happen. It'll take a hard turn right around the Texas Mexico border, United States and Mexico borderline, right by Texas, right there. It'll kind of come up, take a right turn, and beeline towards Louisiana. This is where that we have that uncertainty of, is it going to rapidly intensify? Like is it going to rapidly intensify like Hurricane Beryl did? But as it expands, you see this is a 980. As it grows, this poses a the outer bands pose a significant flooding threat to the Texas coastline, to the Texas coastline primarily, because it won't exactly hit it. However, there's still going to be winds, like strong winds, but the outer bands that will come on the land because of the outer bands from potential Hurricane Florence, I'm pretty sure is what they're calling it, or Francine. I'm sorry, Francine, because of the potential threat of it being a Hurricane Francine, that will cause some flooding threats along the coastline. But ultimately, it could hit or it's going towards Louisiana. the just west of New Orleans, you can see it beelines right in, and it quickly moves up into Arkansas, and that could bring a whole nother set of problems, which we will dig later into after it hits or before it even. Now, I do want to show the precipitation. Or no, I should I'm going to show the winds here first. So this is the very sprawled out, not much organization going on. It is going to rapidly organize though by by at least by Tuesday, we will have some sort of tropical depression or storm happening. You can see we'll have it's going to pull in. It's going to be all over the place. We have winds pulling in from everywhere, and ultimately, we it will become something. And as it moves up the coast here, and as it moves up the coast, it will stay fairly weak until it gets to where it makes that turn. Or it'll stay fairly weak, but it'll still intensify. It just won't be anything major. As long as it doesn't rapidly all of a sudden go up the coast and then turn like this. If it were to do something like this, where it has more time out in these warm ocean waters, we could be. That's when the real threat of a major hurricane for Louisiana could happen. But as of right now, it it's projected to kind of hug the Mexico coastline, and then sort of take a to right turn here, and kind of wobble its way towards the Texas Louisiana coastline. And you can see that it happens here. It almost kind of turns in two different areas. Kind of turns here, kind of wobbles. It wobbles back and forth. It and this is it's gonna be hard. This is Wednesday, September 11th. This is very far out, so it very well could go towards Texas, or it could go towards Louisiana, or it could go right in this region. It's just very far out. We just want to get an idea of how far out is it, how far, and what is it starting to look like? What will it look like upon impact? This model has it taking a much western track. You see closer towards Texas rather than it being much further over towards Louisiana, which in a case makes it a lot better because after it comes out of that coastline and it takes sort of that turn like I've been talking about right here, rather than it protruding straight this way towards Louisiana, giving it more time in those warm waters, it would take it closer to the coastline, which ultimately, yes, there are warmer waters, but it would also weaken it quicker as it would intensify it. Nonetheless, this could become a low end Cat 1, but definitely, I think it definitely is going to become a tropical storm at the most. And, it's this model has it set to impact right here, honestly, right in between Louisiana and Texas. And then that'll quickly move up through the United States in Missouri in the Ohio Valley, which will bring again another set of problems, which I will later get into as that gets closer. But the main threat we're currently that a lot of people, not just me, are watching for is that potential for it becoming becoming a Cat 1 hurricane, a potential category 1 hurricane, and two, any coastal flooding that it could bring, along that line wherever it decides to go. And we're also looking at the track. So let's say it goes further this way. That's going to bring some more coastal flooding, let's say, to these regions. Let's say it goes this way. That'll bring more severe flooding to the interior of, or I'm sorry, the coastline, the like southern coastline of Texas. But as of right now, it has it taking it a little bit further to the east, which ultimately would be a better scenario as it's closer to land. It would weaken it quicker rather than it taking it further out, which would bring a much more, which would strengthen it as it has more time to settle in these warm waters. So this is a model track of this is a overview of every model, and you can see it kind of that same scenario that I was talking about is what the models are projecting. It'll kind of take this initial track towards Texas or the Texas Mexico borderline, but it'll then turn. You'll see it takes a hard turn right here. Once makes that turn, is when we start to get a little bit uncertain. You can see this is very straightened out. It's very flat down. You see, but we look right up here, honestly, after that. after that turn here, I'll highlight two different areas. We know that it's going to track this way. We know that. But once it gets up in the black outline of the black circle I made, we don't know. It could stay in the middle of all the path and of all the paths given by the models and go straight into Texas, or it could do what I would arguably say the worst case scenario because of the warmer waters. It would kind of come up here and take a further outward turn like this, which would give it more time to strengthen and ultimately grow in size over these warm waters. The best case scenario would be after it taking this turn, sort of going like that, just kind of taking a straight turn and hitting land more rather than it staying in the middle and going straight in because it's still going to create some impacts for some people within this line, within this black outline. It's going to cause impacts. However, the greater impacts would be more so in this region. It's definitely going to be in the coast. It's going to be somewhere on the eastern Texas coastline and western Louisiana coastline. Somewhere in there, there's going to be a big impact. And then the model guidance or the intensity guidance track, it's all over the place, but there is a general look as a general agreement beginning to be made. It's going to become a tropical storm no matter what. Where it goes, where is it going to go from there is a little bit uncertain. If it hugs closer to the land, it's only going to become maybe a mid to high end range tropical storm. If it decides to be, stay out in the waters, it could very well become a category one. And we have a lot more of those models pointing towards that. Or if it stays even in the middle, it'll just become a normal Cat 1 and then or it'll just become a normal tropical storm and die off once it hits land. We just don't know. And then this is it currently, or at least this is the latest run. See, not a lot of organization without the storm. Not a lot of organization throughout the entire storm here. It is eventually going to try to bring these down in form as it moves up. That's when we're going to really have to watch it if it really undergoes that quick rapid intensification. There has been very high thunderstorm clouds blowing up, which does show signs of rapid intensification. So that is something to watch over the next couple of days. And yeah, so I got this video out. It's gonna go out today. I'm gonna make I'm gonna make another video tomorrow, a little bit later in the day though, around 5, 6 o'clock EST, about see if anything majors happen. If something major happen, if it does rapidly intensify, I will I'll make a video then. But if it's like how it is today, it's pretty mellow, it's not doing much. I'm gonna make a video not today, but not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow about another full update on this. So if I make one today or tomorrow, I will see you guys then. Goodbye.